All right. So today I want to cover how to add some documentation. So last time we covered how to add to visualize vector data, and then now after you push to GitHub, so some of the functionalities should now coming up on the notebook. So let me go here quickly, GeoXYZ, and what I want to show you is in the API reference, and then under your modules. Oh, why mine is not coming up? I believe I already. Let me double check. So under the docs, so today I want to basically go through the documentation. Make sure that you can have the documentation for your stuff. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. Because I didn't really have documentation, that's why it doesn't show up. So ideally, your website at the end would look like this. Let me show you here. Right now, my module doesn't really have anything. It just say main module, right? Yours should be pretty much the same, but at the end, it should look like this. So once you add the documentation, so let me show you what it looks like under my API reference. And if you look at, for example, the leaf map module, so what you want is to have all the some so-called docstring to the package, and then so for example, if you have this function add base map, it's showing up here. So you're going to see all the parameters is a table, and also all the descriptions in here. So this one is built automatically based on the source code. I didn't manually create this one. But if you click, right, you can see the source code actually from here. And pay attention to here. Look at this. So the source code, the table, is actually built on top of this docstring inside your function. So the docstring basically is documentation string for your function, for your classes, right? So this table, look at this one, this table. Looks pretty nice, but it's actually coming from here automatically. So this is called a Google style docstring. I'm going to show you how to add that. It's pretty straightforward. Once you have that, when you um, push that to the website will build automatically. So that you're going to have the same thing in here. But this file is coming, let me show you, it's coming from here. So if I go to your repository, and there should be a docs directory, okay? And if you click it and scroll down, and you will find this whatever your package name, so MD, you're gonna see something inside. Don't change it, okay? Just keep it as it is. This is how it's being built automatically. Okay. So next, let me show you what kind of things do we need to make changes in order to add the docstring. What you need to do is to change the source code. So you don't need to worry about the website. Everything actually is from here. And so let me move this one down a little bit just to show you what it's doing. So keep in mind here, right? This is the main module. So right now, the website only has this so-called main module. So the website only reads this portion, but it's missing the documentation for all the functions and classes. So what we need to do here is to add the docstring, okay? And there are a couple ways you can do that. You can ask ChatGPT, or you can edit manually. So I'm going to show you how to do that manually first. One thing we need to add first is to install the extension. So if you type docstring docstrings, and if you select the second one, auto docstrings, I believe I have shown you how to install this one at the beginning of the semester. So you might already have that. If not, just click the install button. Then it should install this one, and then you might need to restart. Let me see here. I have something, so I need to reload. Okay, so if you need to reload, just reload the program, then it should start working. So once it's done, then we come back to the source code, and then we can start adding the so-called docstrings. What you can do here is to hover your mouse somewhere. So for example, this is the map class, okay? And also each map class has different methods here. So in this case, we're going to use a couple of those, a couple functionality to add a docstring. So the first one, if you have your mouse, For example, if we try to add the docstring for the map class, you have your mouse in here, and then right click. There should be something here. This one called generate docstring. Do you see this one? Right click and beneath the map class, and then right click, generate docstring. And if you click it, it will automatically generate the docstring. See that? So this is one way. Let me remove it. The second way will be come here and then hit the tab, and then just 3 double quotes. 1, 2, 3. And you see, if you press 1, 2, 3, and then it's going to close automatically, and then you're going to show you generate docstring. If you hit enter, it's also at the same thing. So you can either right click, or you can just enter 3 double quotes, and then hit enter. It should do the same thing. Okay, let me do it one more time. You might want to hit the tab because the docstring is indented within the map class. Okay, so just hit tab, and then 1, 2, 3. Okay, hit enter, like this. And you're going to show you here the summary, what this is about, and then the arguments. Okay, and each argument, what kind of type, and it's going to show you later question. So for example, here we can say this is the map class. The map. Okay, fine. The map class that inherits from IPyLib map. Because right now we don't actually have any parameters in here. That's totally fine. So here we can just type this one. Okay, you can say arguments. Type map. Okay. IPyLib map class, whatever. Doesn't matter. So this one is not very important, but more important is the other functionality in here. So this is one way you can edit. Then similarly, you can come back to here. Now we can start adding the functionality for the classes or for the methods within the map class. So same thing, double quote, enter. Right. So you might notice in here earlier, because this one only has 1 parameter. Right now, this one we have 2 parameters, right? It generates automatically, and it's also going to show you the default default to default parameters. So this is essentially, let me come back to show you what it is. All right, so if you go to the div map, go to map class, you click the map. Look at this one. Right? If I click the source code, this is pretty long, but look at this. Here, this one I don't even have any documentation. I added it, but it's missing. But if you scroll down to see some other methods, you will see a lot of docstring. Let me show you how to edit step by step. And for this one, same thing. Remove it, and because I have GitHub Copilot, so it's pretty intelligent, so I can just hit it. And the center, this optional. So usually for me, if you have GitHub Copilot, usually I would just remove it and then autocomplete. Because if you just remove this one, you will still need to type probably. The GitHub Copilot doesn't show up in the middle. So you will remove the entire one. Pay attention here. Oh, it doesn't autocomplete. Okay. Set center of the map default to something. Right. So I don't need to type many lines. Control S. Same thing here. I just let it complete. Okay. Then Control S. So it's done. But you have the documentation. Then later when we push the documentation, it will build, and then you will show you the table on the website. So this is the one way to add the documentation. You can certainly do that if you want to. If you're really lazy, so you want to be very comprehensive, I can just select this one, and then there's a you can use ChatGPT or whatever, but there's a this one is called GitHub Copilot Chat. So let's see if I show you to install it or not. Yeah, GitHub Copilot. Good. So this one allows you to actually use that to generate source code. So it will be very much similar, but if I come back to here, open this one, and then click this, and because I'm already selected, you can do it or not. Just type add dot string. See, use code string edit. Okay. This is probably might be faster. So if you highlight the function you want to add, and then just type add the docstring. But it's probably not be able to add it automatically, but I can move my, oops. And then so what I do, please just take this portion, Control C, come back to here, Control V, and you might need to indent it, otherwise you're going to mess up your source code. So indent it. This one is not. You will see it's a bit different from this one here. So for the Google style, it should be consistent. This one I think is another style. So this is not what we want. We want this one is called ARGS and then blah blah blah. So let me read one more time. Remove. I would just say select this one more time, and you just say add Google style docstrings. Hit enter. Then you should be able to similar to what we did earlier. Be better. So you see now it's customizable. You will see blah blah argument raises if there's any error and then returns whatever. So again, take this one, Control C, come back to here, Control V, and indent it. Okay, Control S. So now you see the format is same as we edit manually. Take a look. Nice. Because this one doesn't have anything, so start str object blah blah. Then you can start doing the same thing. It's up to you how you want to do that. So usually for me, I would just like double quotes. If there's not too many, just 2 to 3 parameters, I use this way, and then I just remove it and just let GitHub Copilot take care of everything else. Remove it, then hit enter. It's pretty easy, right? Or I can just double click, right click, then move it. Okay, add GeoJSON file to the map. And this one, the data here, sometimes if it doesn't know what it is, it's going to have you're going to have this one by default underscore type underscore. That means GitHub Copilot cannot figure out what data type it is, because it can be a string, it can be dictionary, it can be something else. So in this case, sometimes you need to do some manual editing. So for me, I will come here because I know exactly what it is. So I can, because I know it can accept str string, it can also accept a dictionary. So you'll be just using this vertical bar and then say dictionary. So because GeoJSON can be accept 2 types. Then from here, we move this one. The GeoJSON data is a string or dictionary. Similarly, this the name of the layer, right? So S. Pretty much. Okay, almost done. We have one more to go. And I can select this one. Let's try this one more time. Like this. Just ask GitHub Copilot add Google style doc. And just wait for it to finish, copy paste, then we should be good to go. So the reason for this, why you want to add this is when the user are using your stuff, when you press Shift Tab, it will show up the documentation. Otherwise, there's nothing. So right now, for example, here, this one is done, right? I haven't add SHP yet. So I'm going to show you the differences between these two, because for your package, you should try to have documentation for every function so that the user can understand what parameters to provide. Otherwise, it will be a little bit difficult. So let me go back to the example just to show you the differences. I'm going back to this vector example here, and then show you this example. This one here, yeah, I think I delete all my data set. So yeah, maybe this GeoJSON. Let me download this one. This docs example, yeah. Just going to show you this. Scroll down and assume that off. Trying to add these GeoJSONs. Yeah. Oh, I need to control S. Oh, not this one. Okay, so what I'm doing here is that right now I have this function. So pay attention, right? If you hover your mouse on this function, take a look. Do you see that? It's showing up, right? The documentation. The reason is coming from the documentation that we just added. Here, add this one. Without that, you won't be able to see anything like that. So right now, for example, I can say add m.add SHP, right? And SHP, I haven't added the docstring. This one. See? Doesn't show you anything. That means you don't have the documentation. So user will have to guess what should I put in there. Although you know the name in here, any, but it doesn't show you the detailed description. Compare to the add GeoJSON. Look at this one. So everything is coming up here. So this one sometimes is very important. So you can make your program more comprehensive. The user know what to enter in here. And this is why we want to add all the documentation. So lastly, let me do it one. I think I already finished it. So copy the docstring over. Okay, so it's actually already here. So let me copy this one. And then come here. Copy. Indent it. Okay. Control S. Then we're done. So now if I restart my kernel, run this one again. Of course, you need to, I don't have any file here right now, but I just want to show you the docstring. Go enter, then uncomment this one. So now if I hover my mouse, take a look, it's coming up. Right, so all this stuff is from the documentation. So it's helpful for your users try to use. They can understand exactly what's the detailed information for each parameter. And after that, I can just file this one, Control S. Once you are done with adding all the docstring, then you can start pushing this back to GitHub. So I'm going to just update this one. Also, keep in mind, I want to point out here, for your package, you should avoid adding any data set to your repo. So for example, earlier I downloaded this one. It's showing up in here. But when you are doing the push, if the file is too big, you probably don't want to do that. I want to, like I said before, you will mess up your repo. So it's going to make it very difficult. So in general, I would not recommend you putting the data in there. You can put the data somewhere else, just the data repo, but you don't want to add large data set to your source code. It's not good. So for me, you need to always be careful, but sometimes if you want to ignore it, you want to come to here. So right now, pay attention to this one, right? You have the GeoJSON, have the IPy notebook, have the source code. If anything with the extension, for example, JSON, GeoJSON, you want to ignore it so that you don't accidentally add this one to a repo. Then you can do it from here. Click this one, and then scroll down here at your repository. Under the root directory, you should be able to find this file called .gitignore. So this file is like allow you to ignore any files that you don't want to include. So this is something helpful. Sometimes some sensitive information, some large file you don't want it. or some temporary file you don't want it, you can do it here. So if you double click this one, then like I said, look at the file, which one you don't want to add. For example, you can add a specific file name, or you can add a so-called wheel card that you can ignore all the files. So for example here, I want to ignore all the files that ends with .json. So for me, I will just put here star.json, okay? And then Control S, see if it's gone or not. See? You notice that? It disappeared from the left. Let me do it one more time. Let me do this one. Control S. Okay, the file is actually here. So right now I'm already editing this .gitignore. So any file you don't want, star.json, again, I click Control S. Okay, gone. If you have any other file, .xsp, .zip file, it's up to you. So similarly, I have this file under here. I can add, change it to .geojson. Also work, right? Oops, here. And under the, is it, docs samples, right? Right now I have this one. I can do the same thing. I can get some additional data set. Let me quickly show you. Go to my course website. Basically, download some additional data set, but you don't want to add them to your repo. Okay, I will show you more next time, but for now, I'm just going to download some sample data. Under here, under the course repo, data repository, and here, this is where I store all my data set, common data set that I use for the open source packages. But you see here, the main repo, it doesn't have anything, just the release. So during the release, you can add some additional data sets. So I have a lot of data set in here that I use, but it doesn't affect the source code. So it doesn't increase that. So here, I can download some vector data set. For example, I want to test it. I have something in here, cable.geojson, for example, right? If I click it, I save this one to my computer. So this one right now is .geojson. If you don't ignore it, it's going to coming up here. Okay? It's going to showing up in here. So same thing. If you don't want to extend to any data set, hit enter, star.geojson, Control S. So in that way, all the files with that file extension will be ignored. So you will never show up to your repo. It's a good thing, okay? And similarly, this is repo in here. This is fine. You can also skip this one. So right now I'm doing all the testing. It's a mess. You don't want to add it. I can just add this one. So just click the plus icon to add the script. Also add this ignore file. That's it. So you can keep working on this one. You don't have to push it yet. So right now I'm already, look at this. I've added all the docstring for this module. And I also modify the ignore file. I can add a little bit more here. Main module. Yeah, that's fine. So after that, I can just commit a message, add docstrings, and then Control Enter. So you only, if you don't add this to the state changes, this one will be just still on your local computer. You will not do anything. Okay. Once you're done, then I can just push. And you might need to wait for a couple minutes. Then you will build the website. And the website will have those docstrings. So again, I'm going to show you the differences now. Keep in mind, this is what it looks like before you add the docstring. And later, after it's done, I will show you what it looks like. So I take a minute or two. Go back to here. Right now, you see it's building. So the docstring is coming from this one, okay, the docs deploy. So what you need to do is wait for this one to finish. Other, just checking the website, checking the packages. Doesn't really build the website. So this one is how the website is being built. Just wait for this one to be completed. Then you can see the website. So this is one way you can add the documentation. And right now for the website, you will notice here, we only have two, right? GeoHey and also comments. You can later add another modules. You can add more and more. It's up to you. And anytime if you add a new module, then you need to add the documentation and add the docstring. Then also add a menu to the website. I will show you later. Just to, for example, compare to the leaf map. Look at this one, right? For the leaf map, I have so many modules here, not just one or two. but certainly has this one leaf map and also the commons module, but I have many others available. So for each one, you can have docstring, everything will be built automatically. So you don't need to worry about, but you do need to add an item to the navigation bar here. This is not automatic. You have to modify them manually. So module basically is a group of functionality. So you right now, because we are having only simple stuff, so everything is within the main module, but you can create multiple modules. So most packages are being organized into different functionalities. So you might have different stuff. Anyway, so let's wait for this one to finish. So before while it's doing, let me show you how to add a new module. Okay, come back to here. Like this is our main package. So under our package, there are right now 2 modules, right? The GeoHay and also the Commons module. And you can add anything, like for example, you add a plotting module. You can add a utility module, whatever you like. So I'm just going to show just a simple example to show you how to do that. So under here, under your package name, right click, and from here you can create a new file. So if you create a new file, it's going to be a new module. So I'm just going to create new file, and I'm going to add this one UTI UTILS. Usually it's like utilities, basically some functionality. You can use whatever name you like, but just keep it descriptive, simple one. That's fine. So I'm just going to use this one here, UTILS.py module. Okay, and then usually at the top of the module, you want to again have 3 double quotes just for the docstring. Okay, and you can say this the utility module that contain functionality, and you need to not indent it, right? So this is the main one, and from there you can start adding functionalities. Okay, let's see if the documentation website is done. It's so slow. Okay, anyway, oh, it's done. Okay, so and you can check the actions again to see if it is deployed or not. Okay, it's already deployed. Now let's take a look at the website. See the differences between the previous one. Okay, let me open this. And API references, right? GeoHay module. I'm a bit nervous. Click. See? Now it looks great, right? So I have this functionality. Everything is automatic. You click, you can see the source code. You can see the parameters. So the table is being built automatically. Looks nice, right? I don't really need to know HTML. And you see, so user can just come here. They can search anything. Compared to this one, nothing, right? So it's so much better now. So you also have the same thing. So if you follow correctly, and the nice thing about this is you can also, all the things they edit, it will come up in the documentation. So I can search it. For example, I can say, if you're talking about base map, right? You see, I search the base map, and I can navigate to this add base map function. It will highlight all the text, and you can see not just a description, but you also anything, the function name, documentation. You can see the source code, right? Look at this. Very nice. And there's nothing, you see, you don't build the search engine, you don't build anything. It's all integrated directly within the template. So save you a lot of time. If you use someone like dark mode, you can turn on the dark mode. Right, there's a button here. Have you tried this before? No? You don't know there is the dark mode? Okay, right? Take a look at this button. Right. Pretty easy to use. Again, right now the commons module, right? We have here. No, the website you don't need to do the version. But for the release to PyPI, then you have to do the version. This one you don't have to. This one, anytime when you push changes to GitHub, you will build the website automatically. So the website is independent of the website is independent of this one. Okay, this one you do need to release it, otherwise you'll be the older version, right? So if you see here release history, this was February 19th, so I've not done that for a month or 2 now. But the website keeps updating. So anytime you push changes, nice, right? Right now, Okay, refresh. Boom. Nice. The website changes automatically, but only you can use that. Otherwise, people keep install. It's all the version. So at a certain point, you want to make a release for everybody. So for example, here right now, I can just release it, right? Yeah. So I can come back to here, assume that okay, now maybe let me add a little bit more, and then I release a new version so you can see on the fly. So right now, I want to show you how to add a new module, and then add this new module to documentation. Because right now, if you see here, under how to see, we change this one, right? I only have two modules here. The utility module that just added, it doesn't show up automatically. We have to add it. And you need to pay attention, okay? This one is, you need to know, otherwise you don't know how to add it. So for example, right now, I can just like have a simple function to maybe read a CSV as a data frame, okay? To be pretty simple, okay? I can start df and then CSV to maybe df, okay? Just a simple function. Yeah, how nice, I like it. Autocomplete, all done. And import the library, blah, blah. And you might need to pay attention, okay? Because I'm using pandas. If you're adding a new dependency, you might want to start thinking about putting it here. But it's not always the case, okay? For some complicated one, you don't want to edit directly. But for the some commonly used one, you know it's not going to be a problem, then you can add it in here. But for other packages, you might need to think twice. Anytime if you're trying to add something to the requirements of TXT, be careful. We talk about more later and later sessions. But for now, they just assume, okay, my package is going to use this pandas stuff, and it's going to read the CSV. Okay, so once you add the function, then you can start testing it. So right now, I have this utility function. It's done. Okay, and what you need to do usually is to start doing adding a notebook. Similar for all the lab assignments. As you use the exam, you should have a notebook to demonstrate. So for me, I will just do this, come to the examples, and then, for example, new file. So for this one, I can maybe use a csv.ipynb. Okay, so that means I'm going to test the functionality of my package. So what you would do will be here, import, okay, your package name, GOA, and then you can start calling the function. Okay, so there are two ways you can from GOA import or right here from GOA import utilities. Okay, because this is a sub module under the package, right? So import this module, and then you can start doing something like the uti is doc. It should be auto-complete. So now you see this function is coming up, CSV doc something blah blah. And you do need to have a CSV, right? So you can have a CSV on a local computer, or I can just find some example data set. If you can go to my repo, you will find some CSV. So here, for example, I have some of this data set in here. Which one I should use? Maybe how about the US? Okay. Here I have some, for example, US states .csv, right? So all you need to right click, copy the link address, come back to here, then just come here, set CSV equal to double quote, control, oops, then control V. Okay, that's it. After that, you can pass in the CSV inside here. CSV, you can return this one to a variable. Okay, and after that, you can create a variable. So let's take a look at the outcome. Okay, nice, right? And then just Control S. That's it. So we added a new module, and within that module, we have this function, and the function has all the documentation, right? Later on, when the user, for example, right now, if I hover my mouse in here, in this function, you will be able to see all the documentation. This is essentially for all the Python packages. When you import something, you'll be able to see something like this. Once you finish this notebook, so the next step is to add this one to the website, right? So if you, again, like I show you, right now it doesn't show up yet. There's nothing in there. The reason is that we need to add that to the documentation website. So what you need to do is to go to this docs directory. Okay, pay attention. This is important. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to do that. And once you go to under the docs directory, so look at this one here. They are all under the docmd, right? So this geohe is the main module. So look at this one. Star, the hashtag, and then oops, geohe module. So this one actually is the title. I'm going to show up on the navigation. So again, come back to here, this website. Check this one. Okay, geohe module, common module. So the same thing here. But this one you need to be careful. So double quotes, double quotes, double quotes, and then the package, and then the module name. So what you need to do for this utility module that we just added. So what I recommend is usually just go here, maybe just double click, just find an example. Again, select them all, Control C, and then come back to this doc directory under this main directory. Right click, and then new file. So here you want to give a name the same as a module name. So for me, it will be utilities, utils dot md. Okay, we're going to create a new markdown file, and then after that, just say Control V. Then you copy from the template, but you change it. Okay, so right now we're going to give a new name. So this will be utils module. Same thing here. You need to change it to the module. So it will be automatically, it's going to grab the source code, utils Control S. That's it. So similar to the geohe, the commons module, you see, now we have this utilities markdown, and the common module is the same, right? Commons module, geohe, blah, blah, and then geohe.common. So what we're doing here is we're adding a new module to the website. But it's not done yet, okay? This is the second step. The last step is to add it to the website, to the MK Docs. This is where it actually controls the how the website is going to look, and your website is looking exactly where you are supposed to have in here. So again, right? Come back to this one, API references. We have two. So what we need to do here is to add another one, and it's up to you how you're going to do that. Usually, you can do it alphabetically, or you can whatever order you like. So in this case, you can hover your mouse at the last line of this API reference. Okay, and then just on your keyboard, Control C, Control V. Okay, so you're going to add a new line, and then after that you're going to add this one, utils. So you give it a name. Same thing here. This something.md. This is the markdown that we just added under the docs directory. So utils Control S. Make sense? And so this is one to add a module. And besides that, you can also add a notebook, right? So earlier we added this notebook called csv.ipynb. So I can do the same thing here. Go to the example, Control C, Control V, and then csv.ipynb, and done. So now we have the whole process of creating a new module, and then create a notebook to test the module, and then add the module into the documentation, then add the module to the website. So in this way, the whole process is complete. Now we can just add everything to the repo. So you can click the plus button. It's going to add everything. But the vector, this one, because I'm still working on it, it's a little bit mess. I don't want it. You can click this minus. This one will not be added right now. But for other stuff, just take a look. Okay, utilities. Okay, looks good. CSV. Okay, looks good. Utilities, requirements, MK Docs. Fine. So that means now everything works perfectly. Then you can close all of them. So here we can just say add a new utils, and then Control Enter. Bit slow, but it should work. So after that, you should have the new module. Oops. Okay. I think it's because I have the pre-commit. So like running all the commit. So add this one more time. Work. So enter. Okay, you see, it's done. Now just push the changes. And after that, I can make a new release. Then the functionality that I add to the package will be available for you if you want to test it. Okay, so let's come back to the website and take a look. I need to wait, okay? So it might be a bit annoying. It should work. So assume, okay, this is all done. Later on when it's coming, it will be coming up. So I've added all the functionality. So now I can actually release it, okay? I can make it available for other people to use. And so right now the current version is 0.03, okay? So what you want to do is to come back here to the notebook, and let me remove this one. I don't want to make any changes. So if you want to make a new release, for example, the lab assignment, I ask you to make a new release. So you will come back to here and then open the terminal. This is where you can start actually with a new release. It should be automated. So the release, the version is actually controlled within the files in here. So let me show you. It's under the project.toml file. And you will see this file here, 0.03. And another location is under your package directory, under the underscore init log There is also a version here, 0.03. So if you use the bump by version, you will change them automatically. Again, let me open this file here, also this file here. And you will notice like when it's done, we're going to change the file. So right, 0.03, 0.03. So here, this is right now we're trying to bump the version. Okay. So what we used to already have installed the packages. So you'll be bump. Okay. Yeah, bump my version. I think you need to another one like this. It's a little bit awkward, but this is the way that it's being written. Bump hyphen my hyphen version, and then bump page. Page means we're going to increase to 0.04. But you can also bump minor. That means it's going to change from 0.03 to 0.1. Okay. You can also do bump major. Then it becomes 1.0 something. But for now, because we're still we didn't add much, so the page basically we're just adding some minor stuff. So hit enter and pay attention to those two files at the top. You see that? Does it change? Now it's 0.04. That's it. So once it's done, you can just like this git push and then hyphen text. So the text basically is the one later we're going to use to release GitHub. Right now, if you go to the GitHub repository and then under the the release, so under the release, you're going to have two tabs. Okay, the first one is called release, the second one is called text. So the text basically you just add a label to your current version. You don't necessarily have to release every text. You can keep it there. But as I see here, right now you don't have that. But because we use the bump version, so pay attention to this one. Right now is git push hyphen text, and then if I put enter, it's going to push the text to GitHub. So if you come back to here, right now, pay attention, refresh. See? So right now we have 0.04. But if you push the text, your local one is not added yet. So pay attention here. This is still the one that we added before. So you need to write git push. Okay. Or you can come back to here, you can push it, but I can just, this is just write two command lines. So git push, it's going to push the version bump. Right? So right now I push to main, and if you come back to here, pay attention, right? Right now it looks like this. If I refresh it, right, bump version. So this commit is added automatically when I use the bump my version. So basically there are two locations. This is commit changes to your source code. In the meantime, you also basically set a version. It's kind of like you're working on a Microsoft Word document on your paper, and then you write, and then at a certain stage, you just copy and then say version 1.0, and then keep a copy there, and then continue to work, and then, okay, version 2.0, make a copy. This is more like you're making a copy. And this one is more like you're continuously making the changes, but there's a history. So you can always go back. If you click inside, you should be able to see what changes have been made. But this one is automatic. So once you have this one, now I can release the changes. Okay. So go back to the releases. You will see, notice here, the release is 0.03, but there's a tag named 0.04. That means, okay, we can make a release based on this new tag. So I'm going to come to the releases, and then I'll come to the text. Under the tag, if you click inside here, not this one. Oh, because I'm not logged in. So if I log in, I should be able to see button up right here, and I can make a release. Let me see if I can log in here. Okay, select the account. Oh, it's logging. Okay, nice. So click the tag. Right, this is where it is. So when you're making a release, it's coming to here. Create new release from this tag, this version, and click. And all I need to use is just generate release notes. It's all automatic. And this is from the pull request. Okay, all the commits. If you make directly to the main branch, it doesn't show up in here. What I was doing earlier, because it's not a pull request, so it doesn't show up. But the recommended way would be to anytime you make changes, just do it as a pull request. So when you make a new release, it'll be showing up here. But anyway, that's fine. So after that, just simply publish release. Done. Then it's going to push this one to PyPI. And later when you use pip install, people will have access to the new version. So that's the whole process. It's going to take some time, but now let's check the website. Let's see if the new module comes up. So refresh. See? Utility module. Click here. Nice, right? The function that we added is exactly here. You have the source code. And then go to the notebook examples. Nice. CSV. Boom. So this is how you, from adding the source code, add a notebook example, and then add the stuff to the source code, and then eventually add to your website. Anyway, we are over time, so this whole process to make sure you practice, you will need this for all the lab assignment submission to add all the stuff to your website, and then submit the link, for example, to your source code. Okay, so that's all for today. I will see you on Wednesday.